In today's gospel, Jesus says something so simple, yet so profound. Give therefore to the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and to God the things that are God's. It's a simple concept, really. Giving people the things that belong to them. So simple, in fact, that you'd think it doesn't need pointing out. But maybe figuring out what belongs to whom is really where the difficulty lies. I'm reminded of a conversation that I had with a friend earlier this summer as we talked about silver linings to be found amidst the chaos of COVID. And I openly wondered if this slower speed of living would continue to be contagious after vaccines and flattened curves. And she asked me simply, "Do you feel like your life has balance?" I talked about quality time with my husband and my family, outings with friends, a job that fuels and fills me, a sense of deep belonging to this church community, and hobbies that keep my creativity at play. And I concluded that, yes, I do feel my life has balance. I feel sensibly balanced. It felt good to be able to answer that question with a yes, but I wasn't expecting the next question that was to come. And within each of those relationships, with each member of your family, with each friend, do you feel balanced? Maybe this is what the disciples and the Herodians felt like when they heard Jesus' reply, that instant, absolute understanding that this is precisely what they needed to hear, and the immediate knowledge that there is still so much to learn. This paradox of difficult simplicity. Do I give to my family what belongs to my family? My friends what belongs to my friends? My church what belongs to my church? Perhaps most dauntingly, do I give to God what belongs to God? Balance. How do I decide what each of them are owed? Balance. If you looked at my bank account, what would it show that I've invested in? Bills? Yes. Netflix, of course. Amazon? I can't be held responsible for whatever happens on Amazon. Groceries, gas, church, Chipotle. If these receipts were lined up in orders of amounts spent, what have I invested in the most? Do the dollars equal more than math? Does this tell the tale of who I am? Does it back up my confident claim of balance? I've decided that it's just part of the story, just a numbers-heavy chapter in the book of me, maybe even written in Microsoft Excel, short, informational, but important. Personally, I have long since held the belief that the greatest resource that any of us have at any moment is the resource of our attention. It might take careful concentration, but attention is two things that most resources are not. It is both renewable and it's free. You can find out a lot about someone if you pay close attention to where they dole out theirs. So where do I invest mine? If I proclaim that my faith is what compels my every action, how often do I pay attention to what my faith gives me? Or what my faith needs from me? Balance. What have you given your attention to so far this weekend, or even just this morning? Besides the tasks of morning routines and logging into the church Zoom room on time, or maybe even not on time, but making it here anyway, what have you purchased with the currency of your attention? One goal that I've set for myself this year is to be better at holding space for the people in my life. So now I'm going to hold a sacred space for you to spend time with just that thought. Just 10 seconds. Honestly, close your eyes and consider who you've given your attention to this weekend. That's time. What did you discover? Did you invest in tasks or people? Did you find time for both? Did you find that balance? Balance is tough. Ask any accountant and they'll tell you that balance is a positive number at the end of an equation. Ask any judge and they'll tell you that balance is doling out equitable punishments. But ask any clown and they'll tell you that mastering the art of balance is paramount to the ability to successfully juggle. And isn't that what we're all doing? Tossing our debts of commitment from hand to hand, hurling the heavy ones towards heaven, keeping others gripped tightly, carefully reading the weight of each to decide where to throw it until we have the chance to catch it once again. But again, even in this circus act, we fail to recognize the complexity that Jesus asks of us within his easy reply. We pay so much attention to the act of juggling that we forget to pay attention to the balls themselves. We don't recognize that each ball is made up of smaller duties and denominations. We've convinced ourselves that we're performance ready because we've learned how to throw and to catch without looking, but we haven't stopped to understand the full act. Are we giving every part of our lives what is due? Do we have balance within each relationship? With each member of our family? Every one of our friends? Each part, the getting and the giving of our faith within ourselves? I think that we aren't unlike the disciples in this story. Although our loss of balance isn't born of seedy plots to entrap Jesus, we've certainly been hypocritical in our paying him what is owed. And as his followers, his fighters, his faithful, have we also been his funders? Have we invested in him with our time and our attention, held space for him in every room we enter? Have we gripped him tightly in our palms until we understand him? Or have we touched him just long enough to toss him back at heaven? Have we spent more time and money at Chipotle than at church? Have we asked God more than we've asked Google? Did we give more attention to our praying or our paying? We bring to God our debts of time and energy, of apologies and relationships, and we ask him to help us figure out who is owed what. We ask him to help us solve for balance. But instead of reminding us that we owe him too, instead of teaching us that muscle memory of tossing and catching, he offers us absolution in the knowledge that the balls are made of rubber and an opportunity for us to pay God and each other what we are all owed. The opportunity to do better next time is often just one bounce away.